Photography, for me, is a tool that allows me to serve as a bridge between communities that might not otherwise know each other. They might not otherwise occupy intimate time and space. I'm very proud to be able to stand on the shoulders of the people that came before me and made sacrifices to allow me to be where I am today and do the things I really want to do. Homogeneity is a Myth is a project in which I'm airbrushing people's faces completely white to try to remove all differences so that people look the same, in the hopes that people are able to suspend judgment long enough to gain a little insight into who that person is. This project was brought about when I was thinking about why we tend to categorize people into groups. I would hear people say things like, all people that look like this behave this way. And I started thinking, why do we tend to label people based on whatever that group is and then treat them as though they're the same person? The reason I'm painting subjects white is because I wanted the focus of the image to be placed on the eyes of the person. I wanted a white background, white paint, and then the only thing to be in color be the eyes. Other thing I wanted to focus on was to really show a critique or a criticism of whiteness being what is acceptable and normal, at least in the United States. I was sitting in a PhD class and reading a book by Cynthia Cockburn when she said that homogeneity is a myth because no matter how similar people are, there's always differences between them. And that was really the beginning of what became the Homogeneity is a Myth project. When I was younger, I used to play this game with myself where I would watch the news, but I'd turn around and face the other direction and see if I could guess the race of the person based on how they were describing the person. And I got to the point where pretty much 100% of the time I was right. And whenever that person looked like me, it was always something terrible. But that wasn't what I saw around me. Both my parents are college educated, and a lot of my friends loved reading, we loved sports, and it just didn't seem fair to me that the story being told about me was a story that I never got a chance to participate in. When I first picked up a camera, the main reason I did that was because I didn't feel like I could do anything else creatively. I don't know how to play an instrument, I don't know how to draw or paint. A lot of the things that people consider artistic pursuits, I just had no experience in. For several years, I just took terrible, terrible photographs. And it wasn't until I started processing issues that kept me up at night, like racism and identity and class and things like that, was when I started to create meaningful work that people resonated with and I found value in creating. So I had to put down the camera because in that sacred moment, I realized that that very thing and that very skill that got me into this door was the exact same thing that was keeping us from being human with each other. Giving a TEDx talk was probably the most nerve-wracking thing I've ever done in my life. It took a lot of time, a lot of preparation, and my mother was in the audience, so there was a lot of pressure to perform. Because sometimes the magic happens between the frames. Thank you. All right, so basically what we'll do is a couple of before shots. I'll take a couple glances over here just to make sure everything looks great. You look great, I just want to make sure that this looks great. And then once we're finished with that, probably take like 4 or 5 minutes, go back, airbrush everything, and then do the same thing. Yeah. Like, the beautiful thing about Homogeneity is a Myth and the people that are participating in this project is that they're people, they're just everybody. A lot of the people that you see in the photos are friends or friends of friends and people who have seen the projects that I want to participate. And the idea is that everybody has a story that often doesn't get heard.